This video is for section 1.4. This is the second part of the video. In our last video, we looked at this conditional statement. If it is Saturday, then Alyssa plays soccer. We also pointed out that you could rewrite that statement two different ways and have it mean the same thing. In general, you want to follow this template for equivalent statements. Take a moment and write this somewhere on your paper. It doesn't have to be in that little box. It can be beside the box or at the bottom or on the back of your notes. If the hypothesis happens, then the conclusion happens. That's generally how you see a conditional statement. But you can reword it. Look at number 2. Conclusion if hypothesis. If you reshape it that way, it means the same thing as the first one. You can also do it the third way. You can say the word all or every, hypothesis, conclusion, and you don't say the word if or then at all. Refer back to this to help you. Pause this if you need to. Make sure you have this written down. Okay, so this is probably the trickiest thing to do in this whole entire section. You're going to write equivalent statements. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion of this statement. If points are collinear, then they lie on the same line. That's the definition of collinear. The hypothesis would be the blue words. Points are collinear. The conclusion are going to be the red words. Notice how I'm underlining those twice. That's if you don't have colors. The conclusion would be they lie on the same line. Okay, so we identified the hypothesis and conclusion there. Very simple. The more complicated thing now is to write two other forms of the statement. If you look back at your template, which one of these three statements looks like the conditional that we have? It looks like the first one. If blue words, then red words. So I'm going to put a little number 1 here just to help me. What I need to do is write statement 2 and write statement 3. Okay, so let's go back to our template just to take a peek. Statement 2 says conclusion if hypothesis. So I need to say the conclusion first. They lie on the same line. Those are my red words. I need to put the word if in the middle. Finish with the blue words. Points are collinear. Now, if you read that back, they lie on the same line if points are collinear. There's a little bit of confusion there. And that's because you have a noun and a pronoun. They is referring to the points. Points, you can then say, are they. Points lie on the same line if they are collinear. So sometimes you have to make that simple pronoun-noun switch to make sure things make sense. It's always nice to say the noun before the pronoun. Okay? So that statement 2 there means exactly the same thing as statement 1. They just look different. We're going to construct that same statement to make it look like statement number 3 now. All or every, hypothesis, conclusion. So we can say all collinear points lie on the same line. We said the word all. We talked about our blue statement, and we finished with our red statement. Those 3 statements, 1, 2, and 3, mean exactly the same thing. And that's because we followed that template.